My name is Elaine. I've been doing art since I was very little. When I was in high school, all I knew was that I wanted to do something related to art. The turning moment was just a friend saying, you could do animation. So I applied for the program and I enjoyed the process of doing the portfolio. I was like, I like doing this art. This is a lot of drawing. And through that process, I learned more about the field. Working in games and working in animation, there's a lot of differences for sure. In animation, I did backgrounds mainly, and I enjoyed working on the backgrounds, designing the world, and there's a different process pipeline. So in video games, you talk to programmers a lot more, there's more teams, and you talked, at least that's where I'm from, an indie game company, and enjoy that process of having to talk to people of different roles, that's not just artists, and you have a little bit more control, at least where I'm at. I moved to Vancouver like 6-7 years ago, and so that's when I started living on my own, and I've moved about 6 times in the span of 5 years, and this is the longest I've been in an apartment, which is a little bit over 2 years. In terms of how I decorate my apartment, I think I just go with what fits that space. Because there's so many times I moved, every single time I live somewhere, my philosophy is that you want to be happy in the moment, so never let yourself just be like, I'm gonna be here temporarily, gonna just pick something random. I mean, in the beginning I did, but in the last couple of places I tried to really make a place my home so that I could be happy in that moment, even if I know I'm just gonna stay there for 6 months or maybe even less. You never know where you're gonna be. I like picking out things from Craigslist, or like, I like this item from IKEA, let's see if it's on Craigslist, or finding something similar in the thrift store. Slowly I started accumulating things. Like every time I move, I'm able to afford a little bit more, so I sometimes upgrade a couple of items, but most of the things you see are still just things I've had over the years, and they mean a lot to me. Some of them are gifted by friends, some of them I made, some of them friends made, which are like my most precious ones. I'm almost becoming a hoarder, but I think I'm still keeping it a good amount and not overcrowding. Back to my plant. I've always enjoyed watercolor, and the reason why I like gouache and watercolor is their portability, and I like going out and doing plein airs, so I could put them in a little mixing tray and take them out. The thing I was just painting was part of my personal project. I started around 2018. So this is 2018, which is the 2019 calendar, and all of them are endangered species, so there's like 12 animals that really need people's help, and I hope as an artist I could use my art to bring attention to the animals, and so people also could read a little bit more facts about them here. All the funds and proceeds that I get from this all goes to the organizations that help them. So this is the new one, and with the new ones I went a different direction where also featuring different environments. So as you know, in January something horrible happened in Australia. So many more environments that are endangered due to us, and as an artist sometimes you really wish you could do something to help the world and all you could do is art, but art is beautiful and I think it tells the story and messages. The sketchbook I used the most out of the collection you saw is the Moleskine watercolor sketchbook. I think it's just perfect size for me, that it's fit in a small bag, or you could do larger paintings or a smaller one. The sketchbook contains planners, my travel sketches from Japan as well as Spain and France. So about 2018 I traveled quite a bit. This one is in Osaka. I think I sat at the coffee shop for like 2-3 hours. Now I'm back in Vancouver and we do lots of paintings every Thursday with coworkers. So I like how each painting could bring me back to a memory of like where I was at that time. This is my friend's plant. In a couple more pages, I think we'll be traveling to Atapuerca in Spain. And this is where I did children's picture book workshop. Yeah, we're now still in Spain. Now we moved on to France. This is a small town in France. So I got my first children's illustration project about early last year. And it's the first book that I've ever done that's published with a publisher. And the reason why I chose to still also tackle that project with watercolor is simply because I enjoy that style and I don't want to stare at a computer when I come home and work for extra 8 hours. The thing I love most about painting with watercolor is how just seeing the paint flow on the paper with water, and you get really nice happy accidents. And because I've done it so much, I know how to control it a bit better. But even then, there's still accidents that only come out through traditional media, and that's something I haven't been able to achieve digitally. And I just love seeing the paper and how tangible it is. So this is where I store all my originals. Watercolors tend to be all various sizes. You have to have a big drawer. This one is my most recent book that I finished. And it's about Amelia, this girl right here. And yeah, this is where I store all the different pages of the book. They're in various order. And this is roughs. I like doing a rough on a tracing paper so that sometimes, here you go. Sometimes you could cut up paper and move them around to create the look that you want before you trace it onto a bigger piece of watercolor. This is the last book I finished. Well, no, this is the second last book I finished. These are the pages. I like storing these drawers. This is a pan of Chinatown. So the story is about a grandfather spending a day with his granddaughter. And the granddaughter doesn't speak Chinese. They like to spend a day in Chinatown. Because it's traditional, it's hard to make changes. And for this, I especially wanted to keep that pan just in case the characters, I can move them around and choose where they want. So I painted them separately. So that's a cheat. Yeah, so this is to like store all of them, and there's like roughs. Have any specific goals for my future. I may have vague ideas of dreams or possibilities, but most of all, I think I wish to be still as peaceful, as content with my life 5 years from now, and being able to do a job that I love and hopefully also challenging me. And personal art, always still be doing art. I don't think I'll ever retire. Always just keep pursuing my art, making it better, and improve my art so I could better tell stories and messages and spread good words to people. Yay!
Cheers.
So do you have any of your 5-year plans?
Publish a book. That's been my lifelong dream, kind of like ever
Graphic
since
novel.
I was just like I love comics so much. Being able to tell your own story. What you wrote on that wall, right?
Yeah.
Every artist needs to tell their own story.
Yeah.
Just been procrastinating a lot.
You got 5 years. Wait, no. 4?
Yeah, 4 years.
It's still good. You still have like a goal. I feel like it's reassuring when you have a goal. It's like, oh, I have an anchor somewhere in the future there. And it's a motivation to keep going forward.
Yeah.